K9 units of the Ghana Police Service has deployed its officers with their dogs onto the streets to ensure the security and safety of commuters. This forms part of their grand security strategy for this festive season and beyond. This new way of policing in the country is aimed at increasing the visibility of personnel, improving intelligence gathering, tracking of contraband goods, and improving upon other aspects of criminal investigations. Here is Inspector General of Police George Kufuor on plans to transform service into a reputable institution. He was speaking at the 5th Volta Trade Investment Fair 2021 Young Entrepreneurs Breakfast Meeting in Ho.
We know that almost every Ghanaian, young or old, male or female, may have their own experiences about us as an institution, either at the individual level or at the institutional level. We know that not all the stories are pleasant. So I want to give you assurance that we are cutting a new path, and that path that we are going for, we want to be the most respected institution in the country. And a reference point for the rest of Africa and beyond. We know we can do it because we have the will. And whenever there is a will, there will be a way. We therefore want to plead with you not to judge us by our history. We are leaving that chapter close, and in fact, we will look at it more of a book than a chapter. So that book is withdrawn from the shelf, and we are replacing it with a new one. A book that would bring us to the level that all of you will know that yes, Ghana Police Service has arrived at a destination where you yourself will be proud of, and we will promise you that. Secondly, the issue was said about the fact that I've been there since I came, a few things have happened. I want to assure you that it is not about me. It's about my colleagues at the management level and across the country at all ranks. They have given me that support and cooperation for us to think together and work together to change the paradigm of the police in this country. And therefore, I want you to give it out to them, those who are here and those who are out. Third, I can't wait for the day that my name will no more be mentioned and the institution will override my name, in the sense that it is not about an individual, it's about an institution. Policing started in this country 1831, and since then, a lot of people have come and gone. The institution is still surviving. What it means is that you cannot try to be bigger than the institution you form.
We can now go on the Facebook page of the Ghana Police Service, and that we have the pictures of the units. We can take a look at them. All right, as you see in your shot right now, this is probably an Uber or something, and this was at a police barricade in the evening, and you can see that the dog is taking a sniff. Also here, the police are waiting. I'm trying to figure out the location. Okay, but as you can see, you've got like 4 dogs, 4 policemen, and another one who is leading them. Let's see if we can get more pictures there from the Ghana Police Service. Another car has been stopped, obviously with the DV plates, that's number 1. And then the dog has been taken around the car to sniff if there are any contraband, if there's anything in the car. All right, we also have another picture there of the dog trying to sniff the car there with the policeman guiding the dog. Another stop and sniff. It's not a stop and search, it's a stop and sniff. This one looks like it's on a highway, or like a highway, and the police are there with the K9 unit's car. Another car, a dog is sniffing the car. and we have the bystanders or the drivers there. So here it looks like it's an Uber, and it looks like the passengers and the driver are standing on the side looking at everything happening. So looking at the dog sniffing the car. Now, officers and their dogs onto the streets to ensure the security and safety of commuters. Dr. Jones Opokwari is a criminologist and joins us via Zoom for more on Ghana's security. Doc, good morning. Thank you so much for your time. Doc, if you can please unmute for me.
All right. Good morning to you, my sister, and Merry Christmas to you and your viewers.
All right. Now, does this strategy in the long term work for our jurisdiction?
Okay. Thank you very much once again. I mean, all over the world now, I mean, if you go to many of these advanced countries, having K-9 department or units within their police service is proving to be one of the most strategic and important strategies in terms of fighting crime. So for me, once it is something that has worked in other places, and looking at the further crimes keeps on changing and evolving over the period, and the kind of crimes that we are having now, it is very important that we have this kind of unit that operates within the police service that will help us fight crime. Because you see, the way the nature of crimes are, I mean, if you look at the patterns of crime that we observed, for instance, last year, most of these violent crimes, especially violent robberies, as we had them happened on the streets. And so you see that if we had this kind of unit at the time that were patrolling within the streets, they could have been able to pursue most of these criminals that we had, that were operating over the period. So, I mean, going into the future, it is one of the key strategies that I think should be able to help us combat crimes, especially robberies that happens within our communities and also on the streets.
Now, some months ago on PM Express with Evans Mensah, you said Ghana has not done well in terms of solving crimes. Will this K-9 unit make a difference?
Well, it can actually help in arrest. And as I said the other time, I don't judge the success of the criminal justice, system with only arrest. I judge the success based on conviction rate. So in terms of the arrest rate, it could help, because what happens is that these canines are able to assess certain places that ordinary, human beings might not be able to pursue, and even the security agencies might not be able to go. They are able to pursue at a certain kind of speed that, cars may not even be able to go, and also, human beings may not be able to do. So these kind of, animals, or let's say canines, are very important because they can help us to be able to pursue criminals and arrest them. If you compare the arrest rate to what, human beings can achieve, it is much better to use the canines, for the kind of crimes that we are having this time. So going into the future, as I said, I'm thinking that this strategy should be able to help, especially in improving the arrest of criminals, especially those criminals that operate within our communities and also on the streets, than using the human effort. So it's something that I think should be commended.
Dogs also get it wrong.
Yes, dogs also get it wrong. That is why, all over the world, where these units are used, or where we have these units, they develop certain processes, they develop certain policies that regulate the use of the canines. And I think that going into the future, I may want to find out from the police whether there exists any kind of, policy regarding the operationalization of that unit, who the handlers are, what we are supposed to be using the dogs for. Because, for instance, what we are seeing since this festive season, what is happening is that we have the dogs on the streets. We don't know which operational tasks they are supposed to engage in.
Yeah.
Are they doing for just contraband? Are they tip-offs? We don't really know. So most of the time, it is very key that we have these kind of strategies and policies that are spelled out for accountability purposes, so that we are able to know that, look, when these dogs come out at this time, basically, this is what they are supposed to do. And then when something goes wrong, it is always important that we're able to subject the police and their handlers, of these dogs to account.
Doc, before I let you go, what is your assessment of crime generally this year?
Well, I think generally this year you could see a pattern drop, in terms of the kind of crimes that we recorded last year. Last year, if you were very observant, Right from the second quarter of 2021, we recorded a lot of violent crimes within the country, and interestingly, these crimes were spread all over the country. We had a lot of highway robberies, we had a lot of street robberies in Ashanti region, in the north, and also in Greater Accra. However, if I compare the patterns as we've seen this year, there seems to be a drop in the kind of violent crimes that we recorded, especially on the street. And I want to give it to the police for the kind of strategies that they put in place to be able to combat, and to contain these kind of crimes. I mean, I must admit that we may not be able to uproot crimes such as robbery completely from the society, but once the police are proactive and they are able to stay a little bit ahead of the criminals, we can always devise certain strategies to contain them and to reduce the patterns that we have there. Because once there is that kind of violent attacks on the street, it creates a certain impression that the country or the society is not safe. And that can create a lot of anxiety and apprehension for the citizens. So this year, going into 2023, I'm hoping that the police will continue with the strategies and probably, improve on what they've done for the year that has caused that kind of decline in what we've seen over the period.
Well, going into the new year, is there anything else you'd like the Ghana Police Service to work on?
Yes, I think the police service must do more of community engagement. And I like Dr. Adam Parry for his approach. And I was watching what he was saying. That because I remember, saying some time ago that we must be able to, police the country in such a way that it doesn't become like a strongman approach, but one that is institutionalized. And I'm happy that he recognizes the need that a time will come that his name must be replaced with what the institution is rather doing than what he as an individual is doing. So I'm thinking that once he continues with his community engagement approach, which for me is yielding a lot of positives, especially at the community level and also within the street, it should help us to be able to contain any crimes that may arise. So I encourage them to continue, do more of community engagement. The citizens must also give out more information to the police. They must be more observant within their communities and then report suspected individuals that seem to be patrolling within our communities with suspicious characters.
Doc, thank you so much for your time. Dr. Jones Pokowari is a criminologist. Away from that, the Ghana Union of Traders Association is asking Ghana Health Service to evaluate the current COVID-19 situation in China and advise Ghanaians on some travel safety protocols. GUTA says information it has gathered indicates that on the 8th of January 2023, China is likely to remove all restrictions on travel to the country despite the prevalence of the virus in China, which is likely to expose traders to health risks. President of the association, Joseph Obeng, has some other concerns and joins us via Zoom. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning, my dear.
Now, may we know how you've been able to transact businesses with your Chinese partners with this restriction in travels?
Yeah, what we've been doing is to transact through the internet as we have always been doing, and it's easier also. Because they have logged their country to COVID since the outbreak of this disease. And now they are opening up, and as they are opening up too, you see that the disease is very prevalent in that country. And that's why we are confused. Because
now, why are you making the call?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you are talking, please.
Yeah, I'm saying, why are you now making the call for health authorities to give travel advice?
Yeah, because you see, they had restrictions for entry into their country because of the COVID, and now they are removing all the restrictions to allow us to enter again. At this time that they are removing the restrictions, the disease is highly prevalent in China at this time, that so many people are infected with the disease. And as we know, Ghana is almost nil. And so our fear is, and the Ghana Health Service should be able to advise us if they have evaluated the situation in China it is their duty to advise Ghanaian travelers whether it is safe to go, or whatever advice that they can give, so that it will provide comfort for travelers, especially the trading community who ply our trade about 80% in that destination.
Doc, what are the concerns from your members on the current COVID-19 pandemic? Is it still affecting your businesses negatively?
Oh no, as you know, in Ghana here, we can say that it's virtually gone. And so I wouldn't say that it's affecting us negatively at all. But the fact that we are now going to travel to a destination where the disease is prevalent, we do not know what might be the outcome. And that's why we are seeking the advice from the Ghana Health Services to know the position. Because, you know, about 3 years, people have not been going there, and it is our preferred destination also, that beautiful country and highly productive country. That's where most of us have our bread buttered. So you see that we troop in there, and then the outcome is what I'm expressing the caution here.
Yeah.
That Ghana Health Service should evaluate the situation before the 8th, and then give the necessary advice for us.
All right, Doc, thank you so much for your time. Dr. Joseph Obeng is GUTA president. Not only was the country crawling back from the devastation wreaked by COVID, the impact of the Ukraine-Russian war was beginning to bite hard on the economy. Inflation was soaring like never before, thrusting cost of living out of gear. JoyNews birthed the Living Standard series to gauge how Ghanaians were surviving. My colleague Mapitso Thompson has been leading this charge and joins us shortly. But first, let's bring you the first episode of the Joy Living Standard series.
You have to do some alongside your work. If you are not able to do that, oh, you get caught on the way. As a matter of fact, I don't pay rent because I live in my own house. Yeah, so I spend on food, transportation, and then housekeep. So every day, the housekeeping money, I give 50 cedis to my wife for housekeep, 50 cedis. Then I take 2 trotro to work. When going back to, I take two trotro back home. And transportation is taking my salary.
Isaka says his favorite new word is management. He finds himself using the word very often because of economic hardship. The high cost of food prices means he has to squeeze on his budget. According to him, the economy has hit him so hard that he has had to cut down on his food.
I don't actually eat in the morning. I fast, and then in the afternoon I can spend 9 cedis on good food. And then when I get back home, yeah, my wife is able to prepare something with the 50 cedis I give for the housekeep. It's not good.
Food vendors bear the brunt of angry customers who accuse them of inflating the cost of food. But they explain that the steep rise in food prices is as a result of expensive groceries. Local eatery owner Ma Regina Loco is worried her business may collapse soon because of what she describes as a harsh business environment.
I am adopting some strategies to cushion my business because of the increasing cost of ademi. I will now have to cut down and support with okra and likewise the groundnut soup with palm nuts. These days, we don't even get many customers, and even those who come can't afford to buy. Sometimes I have to even dash out the food I'm selling.
She has been in the food business for 35 years. But since last year, her anxiety about the survival of her business has heightened.
I am currently funding the business with a loan. However, if the prices of ingredients continue to rise, paying back the loan will be a huge problem. And I can tell you, that will kill my business.
The cost of food increased by 11% in October 2021 over the same month in the previous year. The impact of this is that the many who earn little or nothing find it difficult to afford basic necessities.
That was our first episode of Joy's Living Standard series. Mamiesi is on Zoom. Mamiesi, describe how the year has been for you filming the series.
So thank you for having me. It's been an eye-opening experience. It's been very, very mind-boggling. You know, at the first instance, I remember this episode so well. It was an Adema joint at Kokomlele, and after so many no's, this guy graciously accepted to, grant us the interview when I was able to speak to him. And for me, this experience has been very, very eye-opening. It gave us the opportunity to go to the people, to hear the real stories on the ground, understand what they were going through when the economy was still, the economy is still difficult.
Yeah.
But they were able to open up to us, which is not an easy thing to do, because mind you, these people we didn't tell them what to tell us.
Yeah.
They opened up to us to tell us their real life experience. And I think that was really, really brave of everyone who spoke to us during this period. And it's been amazing. The team, sleepless nights sometimes, because you have to stay up in the office late into the night and get it on the screens to tell the stories. The people who've helped me, David, video editor, sometimes we've had to fight and all that, but it's been a great journey. It's been a great journey.
You've also worked on a piece about pensioners. Tell us about that episode.
Indeed, the pensioners were people many didn't really think about when we were going through this period.
Yeah.
And we decided that we wanted to speak to them to also find out what it was. I had the opportunity to speak to one lady and one gentleman the gentleman who is currently staking lotto to actually make ends meet. And this woman who retired from one of the printing companies had to also, depend on the benevolence of other people. Their pension monies coming in, which was the real real issue.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wasn't enough to take care of them, which is why the man had to fall on staking lotto to make ends meet. So this is what led me to write this story, and it's one of the pinnacles of the Living Standard series.
On that note, Mamiesi, let's watch it.
Oh, in fact, pensioners are dying. The bank is not taking care of us. They feel if you go to SNIT and SNIT give you your salary or something, that is all.
We, the pensioner, I don't know someone's pay, but we, those who are under this, I just want to tell the government to give us something.
Madam, what is this?
28.
What is this?
58.
This 28 plus 30 is 58.
Yes.
This 58 plus 30 is 88. Banker.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
So it has been happening before.
I see.
And over here, too, I won.
Being schooled in lotto staking by a pensioner was one of the highlights of my day at Ablekuma Extension. Abraham, now 70, was introduced to the lotto business by his friend when he retired from public service 10 years ago. The game keeps him busy.
You see, I will tell you the fact. If I'm able to stake 100 Ghana, my own inside the 100 Ghana is 30%.
Which is how much?
30 Ghana.
Okay.
So if I'm able to sell 200, I will get 60 Ghana.
Okay. Is it by day or by week?
Oh, daily.
Daily.
If you can't sell it, you don't get it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because we have agents, we go and pay to them, pay the money. Because if you had a win, they are responsible for payment of the win.
Before he retired in 2012, Abraham was an auditor with the New Times Corporation. His work took him around the country and sometimes foreign nations too. According to him, those were some of his best years. But after 20 years of service, his pension is nothing he had pictured it to be. Abraham now lives on a 700 Ghana cedi stipend from the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNET, a raise from an initial 200 cedis. This amount hardly takes care of his needs. He has to buy medications, pay his bills, and provide food for the home. The benevolence of loved ones is what keeps him going.
I was feeling to look good, you see, but
Is it the reality now?
the situation is not the best. Think when Baku is 3 cities, 4 cities, Chinang, 6 cities. Oh, in fact, pensioners are dying. The bank is not taking care of us. They feel if you go to SNIT and SNIT give you your salary or something, that is so.
The Social Security and National Insurance Trust has paid 230,729 pensioners 2.2 billion Ghana cedis as of August this year. Out of this number, 80% receive a pension of 1,500 Ghana cedis or less. It means the contribution records of these workers were significantly poor.
Kofi bra. Wa kan na won to kan bi wo be ye wa so ye mra na edin.
Vida, also 70 and retired, dedicates her time now to her grandchildren and church activities in Medina. Vida worked in the survey department for 40 years. While there, she was instrumental in producing maps in the printing department for survey works. At the time of retirement, she was earning about 600 cedis.
And when I came at the first year, I was taking 200. So sometimes somebody will come and call us for decoration at the church. I don't charge them, but if I did for them, they used to give me something. Or there you see somebody will come and just give me, dash me, or something.
From an initial 200 cedis, she now earns 900 cedis as a monthly stipend from SNET. But that amount goes into rent, utility bills, food, and other expenses. Even though she would have preferred a better house, she has to live a frugal lifestyle to survive the tough times.
Oh, I manage it, and I don't do the things that it will worries me. You see, when I came home, you see, I don't buy clothes. I don't buy some things that I have even put on my dress. I don't look one that now is no. And those who I help them or look after them for clothes or some, they just come and give it to me.
Abraham and Vida believe pensioners are the less thought about citizens in the nation. They want the government to increase their stipend while passing the aged bill.
There is something in the offing called aged bill. We, the applicant people, we are planning to go and see the speaker. If none of the members can rise up and talk about it, they should talk about aged bill so that we shall also enjoy.
The deduction that they took for the SNIT, that one they will give. So we, the pensioner, I don't know someone's pay, but we, those who are under this, you know, I just want to tell the government to give us something.
Still with us on Zoom is producer Mamiesi. So Mamiesi, what should we expect with the Living Standard series in 2023?
So we're going to, basically we need to reach out and tell the stories of people. We'll have to tell more stories. But then what we expect is that these stories will make meaningful decision changes in government, which will make life or living worth it whilst living in Ghana.
Yeah.
Government has started taking certain steps already of increasing the how they call it, the base pay, or the forgive me, it just escaped me. Our living base rates.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So more can be done. More can be done. We are hoping that with the negotiations ongoing, social decisions, social activities will be the bane of government decisions, such that the ordinary Ghanaian or the average Ghanaian can survive and take good care of themselves and their families.
All right, thank you very much. Mamiesi Thompson is producer of the Living Standard series. And if you're watching this and you want to share your story, you can send us a message on our Facebook page, or you can send Mamiesi Thompson a message on Facebook. We'd like to hear from you. You're still watching Joy News Desk with me, Mapitso Sebidi. I'm going to take a quick breather. We'll be back after this. You're welcome back. Now, the minority in Parliament say they will file a criminal complaint to the police to look into the theft that has taken place at the site of the abandoned Saglemi project. During a site visit in November with journalists, it became clear that most fittings from doors to electrical items have all been stolen due to the lack of security around the project. Deputy Ranking Member of the Works and Housing Committee, Andrew Dari, tells JoyNews the police must go to the bottom of the case and bring to book the perpetrators. In this interview with Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Daswala Tuna Kalba MP discusses the budget, Saglemi, and a host of other national issues.
Basically, it's been a session that you can describe really as the budget session, because we came in preparing ourselves to receive the budget. Unfortunately, the budget came with some harsh news that we are not all happy about. But as a Ghanaian, we have to work around to ensure that we have a budget to run the nation. We can't bring the nation to a halt because we all do know that if this budget is completely thrown away, then from January, workers in the country will not have their salaries paid. And that is not what we are looking for. We are a minority group that is very responsible, and so we don't intend to bring the country to a halt. But we are only ensuring that the right things are done. We are only ensuring that Ghanaians are not suppressed to the extent that they cannot breathe. We don't intend to see a budget that will let Ghanaians feel as if they are slaves in their own country. I still remember very well that when President Akufo-Addo led a number of demonstrations, the most recent one before he became the president. Yes, I remember one of his cousins said he worked like a bull, and so he expected the government to also play their role. And so because of that, we work as a parliament, we work as Ghanaians, we work to ensure that the country runs. it is now the duty of President Akufo-Addo and then Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to ensure that the country runs properly. So
Honorable, do you not believe that the minority are simply just being sometimes anachronistic, antagonistic, just for political expediency? Because Ghanaians expect that you hold the government's feet to the fire. But some of your opposition, you are opposing 2.5% tax. Government says that it is because of you that the levy is struggling. Your fight that you put up last year, people lost trust in government's ability to raise the revenue, and they lost that revenue. So why are you all up in arms against some of these key government revenue measures in the budget?
Oh, if government will blame the NDC for their woes, then I think Ghanaians should quickly get this government out and bring in the NDC. Because, like I said, we are in opposition. We are a government in waiting. And so we need to ensure that policies that are brought to the nation are of benefit to the people of Ghana. The VAT 2.5 you just talked about, you've forgotten that Akufo-Addo fought hard against this VAT. And so he has no moral right.
But if he fought against it, you were the one bringing it in 1995.
Yes.
So if he fought against it then, and you thought that it was a good policy,
yes,
you should just say that, okay, well, you've learned your lesson and you are bringing it, you are trying to improve it. So let's all join hands in hand.
Yes, and that is why we think that what he has come to meet, he should make use of it. He has no moral right to increase it, especially at this time that Ghanaians are struggling to feed themselves.
What do you say about the criticism that you are part of the reason why Ghana is here? And that last year, I remember John Kuma on the floor saying that if you pass the e-levy, we did not have to go to IMF. Eventually, Parliament passed the e-levy, but 3 months late. So they say that if you pass e-levy early in time for government to get a revenue, they're projecting about 7 billion Ghana cedis, would have succeeded. You don't have to go to IMF to go and get $3 billion. So they put part of the blame on your caucus.
Why should they put part of the blame on our caucus when they failed to engage Ghanaians? It was their duty to engage Ghanaians. It was their duty to explain e-levy to the people. It was their duty to ensure that whatever policy they were bringing as a government, the people of Ghana would receive it wholeheartedly. And so they failed in the first place by bringing a policy that was not friendly to the people of Ghana. I don't think as a party or as a people in opposition, it is our duty to bring policies that will favor Ghanaians. They brought policies. Look, as we are members of parliament, we are also Ghanaians as well. And so we have constituents that we represent. And so if they are bringing a policy that we think that, or we have realized that our constituents do not buy into it, I don't think we should just keep quiet and allow it to go and just for people to say that we are supporting government. No. Our duty is to ensure that whatever policies that the government is bringing are policies that will be in favor of the people, because we are a government in waiting, and so we should not allow policies that will run down the country. We should not allow policies that will destroy the people of Ghana. And so that is why we stood on our feet. Look, I don't think we should be a problem, because we advise them. I am not an expert, but I remember Honorable Atufo spoke vehemently. He gave them options. He gave them advice. Our leader, Honorable Haruna Idrusu, he spoke extensively and he gave them options, but they failed to take the options. Look, countries started implementing this e-levy something, and it failed. It didn't help. And so we were advising that, look, before you come in with a policy, you should have understood. Yes, you should have. Yes, but they failed to do that. And so the way they came with the e-levy was the reason why the e-levy failed. And so I don't think we should be blamed for that. No. So I don't think at all.
There are other sticking points in the budget. For instance, government is seeking to allocate some 80 million Ghana cedis for the construction of the National Cathedral. As I said, you're against it. You've been on a relentless campaign against governments taking money. The minister says he took it out of the contingency vote to build the cathedral. Your leader is at pains to explain that your side is not against construction of the National Cathedral. I don't know your Christian persuasion for it. I don't know whether you're Christian or not. But how can you say you're not against the construction of the National Cathedral, but you are not in support of government allocating resources for the construction of what government says will be a huge national asset that will bring in tourist revenue?
I am a Catholic. I'm a Christian, a proud Catholic. I contribute to the development of my church. As we speak, my parish in Solatona Kalba, we are building a church house. And we are not asking the DC to bring in money. We are not asking government to give us money. We're doing that voluntarily. We are contributing towards it. You remember President Akufo-Addo said they were not going to use the taxpayers' money to build this. And you see, if as a president, you went on your knees, prayed to your God, and made a promise before your God that you were going to build him a house, you didn't say that if I become a president, I will tax my country people to build a church house. No, you said you were going to do that to please God because God has answered your prayers. And so we think that per his messages, he said they were not going to use government resources. They were not going to use our taxes to do that. And so that is why we think that we should not use the taxpayers' money, the taxpayers' sweat, to build a national cathedral. We are not against the building of the national cathedral. Like I said, I'm a Christian myself. And so if a cathedral is there, I can equally go there and worship.
But you want individuals to contribute, not state money.
Even, look, you see, the president, even in his promise, did not say that he was going to make individuals go. He said he was going to build a national cathedral.
The president can't build a national cathedral from his pocket.
Yes, but
we've spent over close to $400 million. Does the president have $400 million?
But it's not even at the foundation level yet. So the questions we ask continuously is, where is even the money? $400 million. But go and see. I've not gone to the site, but I've seen it on TV. It doesn't tell you that the $400 million went into that project. And so we are Ghanaians first. We should not allow an individual to put all our resources somewhere. Like this contingency fund, for instance, they are picking up. You see, this year they have increased it. And so they think that that money should be there as a reserve for them. Anytime they need money, they go in and pick. Yes. As it stands now, they are not able to even account to Ghanaians how they got the 400 million, and then how they are not able to itemize where the monies went into. And so that's the difficulty we have. This is a government that is not prepared to be open to the people of Ghana. And so we don't see the reason why we should support this idea.
So, I mean, outside of the budget, this is 2 years into an evenly split parliament. Aside that independent MP that gives them the majority, you have the same numbers.
Yes.
I mean, there are those who have had cause to criticize the minority for saying that you haven't done enough for the numbers they gave you. I mean, from your perspectives, what are your own views on your performance as a caucus in terms of holding together the interest of Ghanaians and supporting what they want and kicking against the things they don't want?
I think so far so good. We don't have to blame our side for whatever that is happening. President Akufo-Addo happens to be that hard person, in quote. He's a person that thinks that whatever I want to do, I must do, whether it's lawful or unlawful. And so that is why we are struggling as a country. And so if people are not careful, they're going to push the blame to the minority. But we should not be the ones to be blamed. The fact is that we have always stood on our feet. Look, let me tell you, this e-levy, for instance, you just said it, that they are blaming it on us. But we ensure that they did the right thing. We ensure that it
was eventually passed. There are those who say that you were doing a walkout.
Yes.
You did not have to do a walkout.
Yes.
That to stay in, you walked out. People say they don't understand the strategy.
You see,
there are people who are even accusing your side of taking money. To the extent that you are taking money to just do the bidding of government.
It's a pity that people will have to think this way.
You're still tuned in to the Joy News channel, and this is Joy News Desk. We're going to take a quick breather. I'll be back with more. You're welcome back, and we have Spiky Kobe Kruma in the studio for our last edition of News Desk Tech Talk. Spiky, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm very well, better than you.
Definitely better than me. Spiky, so Elon Musk says he will resign, or he'll leave as a Twitter CEO if he finds a foolish replacement. So I'm trying to get it. Explain it to me. What is happening?
So you know, Elon Musk is a very interesting character and takes decisions based on people's reactions to his Twitter poll. So Elon would basically create a poll and ask for people's opinion. And one such poll in recent times was him asking, should I step down as head of Twitter? And he would abide by the results of this poll. I mean, we know Elon to be one who always goes by the saying Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Yeah.
To its meaning that the voice of the people is the voice of God.
Yeah.
So, yes, 57.5 votes said, yes, step down.
Okay.
And so he says, okay, I will step down if I find somebody foolish enough to take the job.
To take over, yeah.
So essentially, he says nobody wants to take the job because, who can keep Twitter alive?
Apart from him.
Well, not apart from him. There's so many people that have been slated as capable of running this. Some have said that he will probably bring back Jack Dorsey, who stepped down in November 2021. There are some people who are suggesting that he could also bring back, he could be replaced by so many other possible candidates. Jared Kushner, who is the U.S. former presidential advisor and son-in-law of Donald Trump. Sheryl Sandberg, who was Facebook's former chief operations officer, and Sriram Krishnan, who's an engineer and close confidant to Mr. Musk.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so these are the people that have been pegged that could replace Elon Musk. Also because investors are losing faith in other businesses owned by Elon because they think that him being the CEO of Twitter is causing him to lose focus.
I see.
A company like his Tesla, his beloved Tesla, since he had to sell a lot of shares in Tesla to buy
Twitter. Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so let's come back to the Accra Mall. We'll come back here to Ghana. Yetra Esports Stadium is opened. First of all, what is that?
So you know esports. Do you know esports?
So I know what esports is, but grandpa and grandma watching News Desk don't know what esports is. So
don't be so sure.
Grandpa Ama and Grandma Ama and
Grandpa Kofi.
Kofi, yeah. And
also,
they
esports,
don't know.
E for electronic, which stands for electronic sports. The esports industry has become or is now more valuable than the music and movie industries put together.
Okay.
And as a result, a lot of interest is growing in that field. And what you're seeing on your screens right now is the first of its kind, an actual esports stadium in Ghana. So the esports teams in Ghana right now, we had one of the teams, and that's the manager of one of the teams, play province, go play a championship in Turkey just a couple of weeks ago. And they made it to the semifinals. So essentially just take it as all the sports we play right now, we have the electronic versions. We have FIFA, we have Need for Speed for racers, Gran Turismo, and we even have Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and people actually go and play these games competitively. And they win money from as low as up to about the tune of $45 million.
Oh.
Yes, that's prize money for playing video games.
I see. So, Auntie Ama, Grandma Ama and Grandpa Kofi. So when little Spiky is playing video games, remember that he can win up to $45 million.
Yeah.
So Auntie Ama and Uncle Kofi, please, okay, when the boys and girls are playing video games,
don't
should let them. Yeah. But okay, so for example, I don't play esports. Can I go to the center? Or
Yeah. So you can go there to go and experience it. I mean, it's an experiential center.
Okay.
So you can go and also try your hands. You never know. Maybe tomorrow you'll be the next best female esports champion to come out of Africa.
I see.
Yeah. So it's open now. It was open on the 25th of December, and I can't wait to see the kind of events. I think Geek Squad should even organize an esports tournament at Yetra. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for something interesting.
All right, Spiky, we've reached the end of the year. I don't usually like to ask this, but before I ask about your resolutions, I want to ask what we can expect in 2023 in the world of tech in 10 seconds.
Well, the world of tech is always evolving, new stuff all the time. So expect new iPhones, expect new Samsung Galaxies, expect new devices all the time, and more electric cars.
Okay, more electric cars.
Yeah.
Because of time, I want to ask what your resolutions are. I'll ask that after
My resolution is 4K. It's 4K.
It's 4K.
Yeah.
What is that?
If you're a techie, you'll get it.
Your resolution. Sorry, you know what? It's a wrap. This is JoyNews Desk. For more news, log on to my joyonline.com. I am Mapitso Sebidi. 4K.